with that, it's absolutely amazing learning about the incredible properties that are available in Israel right now. But while some homes are being built, it's important to remember that some homes were destroyed not too long ago. And they're still recovering to this day, the entire Israeli South. And one place that is exactly in that situation right now is kibbutz Kfar Aza. Now, one organization has actually been fighting to repair and resurrect that town from its ashes since October 7th. And that organization is the Kfar Aza Foundation. And we honored its director in the top 50 most influential Jews, and we are very pleased to present him now with an award. Please welcome to the stage Kfar Aza Foundation Director, Alon Futterman.
Alon, thank you for doing everything that you do for the people of Kfar Aza. It's such a crazy year, and I'm sure you went through so much. Obviously, the citizens of Kfar Aza even more. But thank you for helping people see a future where they live, and hopefully we'll see a beautiful kibbutz rebuild.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the stage with fierce applause because they have been through the absolute worst and survived it. Gili Sayag, Israel Lender, Lena Yankelevich, and Yoav Bibas.
So all the way from Kfar Aza to this stage, welcome. It's quite a journey. We've heard profound speakers this evening, and little did we know that those of us who are not necessarily used to speaking on stage would also get the opportunity to talk about a strong community. Now, with your permission, I would like to share some information about Kfar Aza with our guests here tonight. Kfar Aza is a strong community. It's a community that on the morning of October 7th had 950 members. It's a community that lost 64 of its members. It's a community that had 19 people taken into captivity, and unfortunately 5 are still in Gaza. Keith, Doron, Emily, and the Berman twins, Gali and Ziv. We want to talk about the future of Kfar Aza, but we can't even imagine a future until all 100 hostages come back home, including the 5 from our community. Now, I know that a lot of the people in the audience this evening are part of something bigger. Those who are lucky have a community that is their family. And those who are lucky have a family that is their community. My Sephardi wife taught me that when you have a very big family, that your family becomes your community as well. Tonight we have 4 members with us from Kfar Aza, a community that is a family, and I would like to address the 4 of you with one of 2 questions. The first would be to share with us, if you may, an event that happened to you and your family on October 7th, and make a connection between that event and
I don't know if I call it event, but I think the most thing that affected me, it was the feeling that I felt when I was there in the safe room with my husband and my 4-year-old grandson for 30 hours. During these 30 hours, I felt concerned about this little boy that was with us without his parents. And I felt worried about my 2 sons. One of them was part of the first response team of our kibbutz, fighting outside in the morning. And the other one was alone in his room near the young adult neighborhood that we know what happened there. A lot of terrorists came there and killing and kidnap young people. But most of all, I think the feeling that I'm not able to do anything for them, just sit and pray to be saved.
Can't imagine what that's like, having grandparents watching over their grandchildren in a safe room for over 20 hours while terrorists are outside. And what resolution have you come to today, over a year after October 7th?
After we arrived to kibbutz Shfaim and start to understand what happened to us, I decided in the end we all saved. I didn't say that, but all my family saved. We are okay. So I thought that I didn't save for nothing, you know. I probably got a mission to do in this world. And the first thing is to tell my story and my community story. And I understand that as a family we have to stick together, so we decided to live together in Shfaim and not to go to find another place to live. And now we are living all together in Ruchama. And the other thing is that I need to do something for my community. So I started to volunteer in I'll say it, in a kibbutz in Shfaim. We were really trying to come back to community life. We opened a coffee shop and a pub and like a marlog that collect all the things that we get from company.
Place for all the donations.
All the donations
So-
we get, like clothes and things that we need, because we arrived to Shfaim without nothing, just without our clothes and some of us without shoes.
So for those who are not familiar, we're just going to clarify, the members of Kfar Aza are still not home. They still have 2 years until they can go back home. They've been over a year at a hotel in Shfaim, which is a kibbutz north of Tel Aviv, south of Netanya. Entire families inside single hotel rooms. And as we speak, the move of the community is back south to a temporary living location in Ruchama. And your resolution with your family was to spend more time together, but also give back to the community thanks to the fact that you were saved. Thank you, Gili, for sharing that with us. Yoav, you're a representative of young adults of Kfar Aza. Over 180 young adults in this community between the ages of 18 to 35. Now, these are people going to the army, finishing their army service, traveling the world. But if you've been to Kfar Aza and if you've seen the movies, you know that the young adult neighborhood was the happiest place on earth. Unfortunately, that is where the big massacre of Kfar Aza took place on the morning of October 7th. My question to you is the same. Can you make a connection between something that happened to you and your family on October 7th and a resolution that you have today?
So I can say that I understand after the war that the most thing that's important for me is spend the time with the family and the people that I love, because I understood that after the war that the life can be end in the second, in 1 second.
Life is short.
Yeah. And in that terrible day, I be with my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, and my parents and my sister be in the kibbutz in the same day.
So you're from Kfar Aza, and on the day of October 7th, your parents were there, your siblings were there, you were not in the community.
Yes, I don't be there.
How traumatic is that, knowing what's happening when you don't know what's happening with your family?
It was terrible. I lost connection, the communication with my parents for 5 hours in the same day. My big brother called me and tell me be ready for the worst. All the parents, the murder or the kidnap. After 5 hours, my mom, she texted and she said, we are fine, we are survived, we're in the safe room. And after 22 hours in the safe room, the rescue operation, and I see my parents in Sunday morning. It was the bad day in my life.
And what's your resolution? Going through that kind of trauma, what did that make you understand today?
So I can talk about the young generation. I'm part of them. I think that my generation, we are the future of Kfar Aza, and we are the future of of all Israel, my generation. And we want the place in Shfaim that be a place for the young generation that we can go and talk about what happening the same day. And we want to feel a part of the community of Kfar Aza. We are the future of Kfar Aza.
So based on what you're saying, for those who want to visit Kfar Aza and for those who want to visit Uchama, the new temporary living location, you will be able to meet the young adults of the community because they're part of the community. They're there as well. Thank you for sharing that with us. Lena, same question.
In October 7, we was 20 hours in a security room. I, my 2 children, my mom, our dogs, and our cats. My ex-husband go to security team to protect of kibbutz. At 5 o'clock, my mom, 86 years old, decide that fed up. And
Can you imagine that, having your 86-year-old mother, after 30 hours in the safe room, terrorists outside, you're there with your kids and your pets, and she gets fed up and says, I'm done. I'm going out of this room to watch TV now or something. Yes. And you're dealing with all that.
She's turned off television on Russian, talk of telephone, and cook the food, and open the window. In this day, we lost a lot of our friends, our neighbors, and I believe we need to try to be better as a people, as a community.
That's your resolution, trying to be better as a people and as a community. And how do you practice that in your personal life?
Now my family live in Even Yehuda, and I start to work and coordinator of volunteers, of seniors, family of survived, and people with disabilities.
Thank you, Lena. Israel, same question for you. Can you make a connection between something that happened to you and your family on October 7th and a resolution that you have today?
One of the experience of October 7 is the massacre that was done to us and the desire to destroy us. This connected me to being a second generation of Holocaust survivor. My mother survived Auschwitz and Mauthausen, and half of my family was exterminated. My parents never showed us what they went through in the Holocaust. But I, unlike them, after going through the October 7 massacre, I see it as a supreme importance and a mission to tell our story.
So your resolution is to tell this story maybe differently than what your parents or Holocaust survivors went through and didn't necessarily always tell theirs. That's your resolution. That's a very powerful one, and thank you for sharing that with us. Before we conclude today, I'd just like to ask you shortly, since the community is still on an ongoing journey and they can't go back home, you can't go back home for the next 2 years, in your opinion, what is going to keep this community together? We have people here who have been supporting Kfar Aza for over a year now. Okay, they Googled Kfar Aza is not alone. They come and visit. They ask to come and visit. These are people who define themselves by actions and say, what can we do in order to help? What, in your opinion, does Kfar Aza need today in order to be together in 2 years' time when it reopens? Gili.
I think most of all, for me, it's the feeling of belonging. If I will feel belong to the community, a strong community, it would help me to be there. And the other thing is the feeling of safe. If I know it will be safe to stay with Kfar Aza, and I mean in 2 years in the kibbutz, it will be safe to return, and it will be safe for my grandchildren to be there again and walk around like they did before. So it will be for me to think about it, to stick to the community.
Thank you, Gili. I know that we're out of time. We want to be respectful of the time. We want to say thank you to the Jerusalem Post for hosting us here this evening. I'm humbled by the award. Thank you on a personal note as well. Please be sure to address the members of Kfar Aza that are here. For those of you who want to get in touch, who want to be part of our statuses, who want to come and visit either Kfar Aza or the temporary living location in Ruchama, you're more than welcome. Toda rabba.
I promise you coffee and cake. Come visit me.